Malik, and today the topic for my discussion is foreign exchange. Now this topic was requested by one of the students, so I hope you all understand this topic as a very important and interesting topic. So foreign exchange market. What is foreign exchange market? It is a market where foreign exchange is traded, right? Now, traded definitely at a price. So this price, basically the rate at which Indian currency is exchanged for say a dollar, is known as the exchange rate. Now, how is this exchange rate determined? There are two ways. First one is the flexible exchange rate regime, and the next one is the fixed exchange rate regime. Now, under the flexible exchange rate regime, the exchange rate is determined by the forces of demand and supply. So, where the demand curve intersects the supply curve, we get our exchange rate. Now, usually the central bank does not intervene in the market, which is basically the case of clean floating. Okay, so here the central bank will never intervene in setting the exchange rate. But in case of dirty floating, what happens is that, the exchange rate determined by the forces of demand and supply. But when the exchange rate becomes too high or say become too low, that is say becomes say 100 rupees per dollar or 120 rupees a dollar, or say it becomes 30 rupees a dollar, then what happens is that the central bank intervenes into the market and sets the exchange rate. So this is known as the dirty floating. Okay, now the exchange rate keeps on fluctuating, okay, with the forces of demand and supply. Now when the exchange rate say initially the exchange rate was 50 rupees per dollar, and now it becomes 60 rupees per dollar, this is known as depreciation. So this is basically depreciation, and just the opposite case is known as appreciation. So say we exchange for 50 rupees per dollar, and now it becomes say 40 rupees per dollar. This is known as appreciation. Now what is the advantage of depreciation is that when the currency depreciates, what happens is that our exports becomes more valuable. Basically our exports increases, but our imports decreases. Now why is that so? See, initially you were paying 50 rupees for $1, right? Now you are buying 70 rupees, you are paying 70 rupees for the same $1. So what is happening? Dollar is becoming expensive, right? So what will you do? By the law of demand, we know that when the price of something goes up, the demand for it goes down, right? So when our currency depreciates, what will happen? We will decrease the demand for dollar, we will decrease the demand for the imports of the goods coming in from say US. Okay, so this is the depreciation, and the depreciation imports fall, but our exports will increase. Why is that so? So initially the foreigners were paying $1 to buy say a pen costs 10 rupees in India, right? So they were and the exchange rate is 50 rupees for $1. So with $1 they were getting 5 pens. Now with the same $1, now say they are being able to get 7 pens. So what is happening? Their purchasing power is increasing. So what will happen? That demand for our products will increase. So our exports are going to increase while our imports are going to decline. So this is about flexible exchange rate. Now the other system, as I discussed, was the fixed exchange rate regime. Under this regime, the exchange rate is determined by the central bank. So the central bank intervenes in the market and sets the price at which the Indian currency is going to be exchanged for $1. So but in this case, the central bank, and usually the central bank maintains a huge amount of foreign reserves with itself. So the central bank has to be ready to buy and sell foreign exchange so as to keep the exchange rate at that particular level. Okay. Now, under fixed exchange rate regime, also we have two types. That the one is devaluation, another one is revaluation. This is just like depreciation and appreciation. So devaluation is when the government sets initially 50 rupees for $1, and now it sets say 60 rupees per dollar. This is devaluation, but this is set by the central bank itself. Okay, it's not through the free forces of demand and supply. And revaluation is just the opposite of that. This is about foreign exchange. If you have any other doubts, please let us know, and we will definitely add on to it. Thank you so much. you.